Good morning, friends. It's Miss Tori, and today I have a story time for you, and we're going to be reading Caps for Sale, a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on the top of his head. He had his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, a bunch of brown caps, a bunch of blue caps, and at the very top, a bunch of red caps. That sure is a lot of caps. Can you count how many there are? He walked up and down the streets holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he could not sell any caps. He walked up and down the streets calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree, and he leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps at the very top. Are all of his caps there? I think so. They were all there, so he went to sleep, and he slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was feeling refreshed and rested. Do you notice that something is missing from the top of his head? Where are all the other caps? What happened to them? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. And all he felt was his own checked cap. Oh dear. He looked to the right of him. Any caps? He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree, and there were no caps. Where do you think they could be? Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? Oh no, on every branch sat a monkey, and on every monkey was a gray, a brown, a blue, or a red cap. Oh no, what is he going to do? The peddler looked at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. What do you think he's going to say? "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, 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 zzz." Oh dear. This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their hands back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, 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 zzz." Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Zzz, zzz, 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 zzz." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both of his feet and he shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only stamped both of their feet back at him and said, "Oh no." At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, he threw it on the ground, and he began to walk away. What do you think the monkeys are going to do now that he's thrown his cap on and is walking away? But then, each monkey pulled off his cap, and all the gray caps and the brown caps and the blue caps and the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps and the blue caps, and finally the red caps at the very top. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. Well, thanks for joining me for story time today, guys. See you next week. Bye.